I just got done with episode 6 of Roll Over Dead. I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. I thought it started out as a good episode, but then I started disliking it a little more. I thought the intro with, hold on, let me turn my mic down because that's peaking a little bit. I thought the intro love scene where, they're doing, oh master, oh Milky, oh master, oh Milky. I think that was kind of like, because I still think it goes a little too fast. Some of the dialogue options, it's kind of like iffy for me. Uh, like I do dislike, fuck, I just forgot the part, god damn it. Uh, one of the, parts where like she confesses and like says, "Oh, this is what I want." And I think that you would like. Milky says, "Oh, I think you look beautiful in a dress," because earlier in the episode they were like shopping, and she's like, "I don't know if I'd look good in this," and Milky's like, "Oh my gosh, maybe she would." And then, fuck, what is a blue-haired woman's name? I don't know, the witch woman. Uh, she pushes Milky to tell her, and, she says that, and it's kind of like iffy, like, oh, this is your first request, therefore I'm gonna reward you, and this is so beautiful. As if, like, she knew what they were saying, like, the witch and Milky were saying, and it was kind of just iffy. It's like, eh. I did think, a lot of the episode was good, though, like, it was a decent episode. Uh, Dane's part, I think, was an okay part, like, we can't take her physically, we have to take her mentally. Which, okay, but all they do is fucking put posters at her house, like, hey man, oh man, I have to take down posters for like 10 minutes of my morning. Fucking damn. And then the Ellie lady, whatever her name is, tells her to get lost because she can't have any more quests. Which, okay, I wonder if there's more places with quests and stuff, so maybe she still will be able to make money. But I also wonder why she like didn't tell the blue-haired witch woman. So I have no clue on that. I don't think I think the relation between Sarah and Ed and Yanni is a fine relationship. I think it's just basic friendship. It's not anything big. I also thought maybe I was giving a little too much thought into romance for the show between Sarah and the one demon, because Sarah, still looks like a fucking child. She's apparently 6 years younger than Flum. How old is Flum? I have no clue. I don't remember. Also, the cliffhanger of, oh, the royal guards are gonna take away. That's an okay cliffhanger. I think a lot of this episode is okay. Could have done better stuff, but overall, it's just a decent episode. I wasn't bored by it, and it was just overall. Let me quickly look at the video or episode, not video, to see if I'm missing anything and I can remember. Oh yeah, that scene. Okay, so how it shows more of how Flum actually meant more to the crew, but they've done that a couple times, so it's kind of iffy. And it shows her relationship with the blonde-haired one, not Mary. This one, I forget her name. Like how close they were, but she also did a little bit of betrayal and she's messing up and shit. But my other thing about this, I dislike how they do thinking. They'll do thinking for Dane, out loud thinking where you'll hear it, and they do it for Flum, which I think is fine. I think, okay. But also, I dislike how, they don't do it for Milky. Well, they kind of do, because there was this one scene where I'm pretty sure Milky was talking, but she couldn't, the mouth wasn't moving, so I'm pretty sure that was an animation mistake. And there was another animation mistake where the animation was just 10 seconds of a bowl being poured because Flum hugged Milkheat from behind, and Milkheat dropped the stuff, and she's like, rah, 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 rah. I'm sorry, Master, oh, sorry. And they're like, oh, oh, Master, oh, Milkheat, oh, Master. They also try to do, like, some funny bits with, like, the blue-haired girl going, how do I keep on getting myself into this situation? And then she falls, which, it's okay. Like, if I was a wee little boy, I'm gonna go, ha, 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 that's so fucking funny. But, it's just, I would say this is most likely my third favorite episode, which isn't saying a lot. It is more of a midder anime. I do think they should have done, not like a slow burn for the romance. I think it should have been more of a medium burn, because, like, it's enough where they have, like, a romantic enough relationship where you're like, oh, they might be couple, but they still don't, so it's like, what, hey, man. But I still, I don't know. I think the relationship should most likely, be a little longer, because this anime, from what I am seeing, the second to last episode of the season is defeating Dane, I think. Well, I think it is. I haven't watched it. But it's Dane and Flum, so I think, the big enemy is Dane, and then they'll do more. They also did a bit more talking about the churches and how, I'm pretty sure it's west is rich. No, it's east is richer. The west is, I'm pretty sure, has like an orphanage in their church, so Sarah couldn't search more into the records of stuff. But I think that's fine. I do wish, like I was saying that before, I do think they should, like, focus more on the thinking and, like, show how characters actually think and feel about each other. I think that would add a little bit more depth besides just Flum and Dane. There mostly is some more, like in the show that I'm, like, blanking on, but I don't know. Let me think. Anything else? I don't think there's anything else. If I think of anything, I'll, like, record this more. I am thinking of mostly just tagging this along with episode 7. I'm mostly going to do 2 episode segments. Last video, if this is posted how I wanted to, because this last video I recorded last night, or this morning, last night, blah, 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 time shit. So, I'm mostly going to stick both episode 4 and 5 together, so I'm going to do episode 6 and 7 together, then I'll do 8 and 9, then 10, 11, which I might just add 12 to it to make it 12 an episode on itself. I will mostly do, like, an overarching thing where I, like, do a compilation of all my thoughts on the episodes and shit, which I'd have to, like, go through my World of Warship video and, edit it and, be like, hey, this is the Flum, this is the part, blah, blah, blah. That, or I'll just say, like, hey, this is, I am not going to do that because, hey, man, it's like a fucking hour of footage. Like, hey, man, the reason why I do the hour-long videos is because it's just, raw footage just put out, unless it's, like, a big editing mistake or something. So I just, put it out and, blah, blah, blah. Nothing, major about that. I don't know. I think the episode's fine. I'd most likely rate it a 6.5 out of 10. It's good enough where I was, like, invested, but I wasn't thinking a lot. Like, I still think very highly of, what episode was it? I still think very highly of episode 4, mainly because of its action, and it actually made me think about, like, hey, man, this happens, this... Like, there was a lot of stuff happening, which I liked. It was also, like, too much stuff sometimes where it's, like, but I still thought it was a good episode, like, besides, like, But, either way, see you whenever I get done with episode 7. Alright, so I thought this episode was good. I do think its intro is a bit rough because instead of picking up when it last left off, it it started when after she made her choice, which I think is kind of a bad direction because I just feel like that it's like iffy, like not terrible. Eventually in the episode, she gets cornered. A blind girl, is forced to drink poison, but she instead can, and she drinks the poison, which I think it adds tension. But since we know her ability, it doesn't add that much tension. Her ability, reversal, allows her to, I think, drink the poison, and she became way more powerful. Did it add any stats? I have no clue. But since, it's reversal, I think, it actually, helped her out and stuff. They are also now keeping the blind girl as, like, like not a hostage, housemaid or whatever, which I feel like she is either going to be, there's two ways she's going to be used. One, to prove how the church is evil because she was blind and looks like, a person who escaped the church, or she's going to be attacked by Dane again. And, for, and add more tension along the same role that Milkheat had in episode 4 or 5. But then, in the episode, eventually the lieutenant, Anatolia, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's Italia, saves Flum from Dane and the gang, which later in the episode we figure out her ability makes, Italia's actually like the voiceover, because I'm pretty sure they use the same voice actor, so it's a voiceover, female voiceover. Which also, I think there's going to be, like, other lieutenants for north, south, east, west. I also didn't touch on this last little review. Apparently there's a capital. I wonder if it's in the middle, or if it's, like, it's actually, like, the north is the capital, or south, or west, or east, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But we figure out, like, her ability, her little, slash transfers stuff to like this big meaty tumor monster that Dane finds out about. Eventually the gang has a little talk about the church and stuff, which I have a little bad feeling about Italia, not just because I feel like she might like pull a trick on them. I doubt it, but I just dislike the character. I really dislike the character. Because, she comes in as a badass and then she just becomes a simp, like, instantly. It wasn't, like, over a little bit of time. It's like, come on, man. Like, I just don't like it. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. Also, apparently, Dane got sold out by his friends. I'm also thinking maybe Dane and, Flum might become friends in Dane and Flum. Because it's not like Dane versus Flum, unless it is, and I'm illiterate, which, could be the case, you never know. Dane and Flum. So it's either a battle between the two, or it's, a collaboration, they both become allies. I do also think, let me actually fucking think about what I was gonna say. They also explain how Dane is actually smarter because he used to be a noble, so he actually has an education, and that's why some of his friends are actually like, why people follow him. But then he got sold out by the big boy. So yeah. That the Talia person is meant to kill corruption and stuff, which, hey man, it doesn't look like you're really doing. Hey man, like, you can fucking kill the dude. Like, he jumped on the roof. You were on the roof also. You could, like, chase after him. This is with some, like, power imbalances where I'm like, hey man, I think she should be able to do that, But I think it's kind of fine. It was kind of just an iffy episode for me. There were some good parts. I did like a bit of it. I did like the scene where, like, they all look at you and each other and they're going, because I feel like it was a little wholesome. But I think the episode's fine. Maybe one of the worst episodes after episode 3. Or worst episode after episode 3, because The first 3 episodes I don't really like that much. I think episode 1's fine. I think episode 3's fine. But they're kind of like lower mid. While I don't like episode 2 a lot. But the new episodes have been, better. But I think it's worse than the other ones because just an iffy episode. I do like it a bit, but I can also see how some plots I can go. With the blind girl, she's a research thing, an experiment by the church. We also didn't get a lot of stuff about the heroes party, which I think is for the better because I don't think they should cram so much shit in an episode. I also wonder when they're gonna do another exploration or a little adventure because I think that's where the series actually does good at exploration or adventure episodes, like with episode 3 and was it 3 and 4, 4 and 5, one of the two. I know episode 4 was there. I really liked episode 4. I know I've said that a lot. I think episode 4 is a good episode. So I don't know. Obviously, the dialogue's kind of iffy still, but let me look if there's anything else I am forgetting to remember. Apparently there's blackmail on certain guards from Dane, so Dane might also know shit that's happening in the church, so maybe that could also be something, but I have no clue. But either way, those are my little thoughts on this episode. I don't have a lot of thoughts. My brain has been a little lackluster today, I feel. So I'm mostly gonna watch 2 episodes a day and then give my thoughts on them, and it will be released in every other day or every 3 days. I'm pretty sure. So it's the 10th today. I could just finish up another 2 episodes and finish the last 3 at another time, or but I mostly won't. I'll mostly just watch 2 episodes tomorrow, then 3 episodes the day after, and then I'll do my big compilation. So I'm pretty sure tomorrow I'll release my thoughts on episode 4 and 5, and then 2 days after that would be these 2. Be 5. Wait. Whoa, man. Yeah, 4 and 5. Pretty sure it'd be the 16th of April when I will finish this anime. Or, posting the anime stuff. So, yeah. I do have high hopes for the anime. I do think something could be pretty cool with it. But either way, I think this episode's fine. It does add some stepping stones for later episodes, so that's maybe why it's a little bit more mid. It's just a stepping stone. But I do wonder how they can have a little bit more episodes because I feel I don't know, they do cram a little bit. I don't know. My thoughts are pretty scrambled. But 2 days from now, you'll see my thoughts on episode 7. 7. 8 and 9. So, yeah.